Perfect. Last one here.
Hello, welcome back. My name is Aladino, and together with my wife Maya, we are refitting a Cape George Cutter 36. In this episode, we're going to take you on a field trip to another workshop that specializes into something very important related to sailboats.
Good morning. We are in unfamiliar surrounds this morning, but we're going to be spending the day here with our new friend Paul from Ocean Rigging. We're getting ready to put the mast up slowly and surely. There's still things to figure out, but that's why Paul is here. And one of the biggest changes that we want to make to the rig is having roller furlers on the forestays. So that's one big thing that Paul is going to help us with.
I'd like to briefly describe what furlers are and why we want them. Traditionally, sails are hanked on, so there is the wire, the stay, and you have bronze or stainless hardware attached to the sail, which you kind of clip onto that wire stay, and that's how the sail is attached. And then you hoist it, and it's all held along the wire. And instead, furlers, they have a drum at the bottom, and swivels with bearings and all that related hardware, but then basically with the mechanical advantage of pulling on a rope, you get the whole stay rotating, and you roll up your sail around the stay. So you don't bring it up and down, you bring it in and out. One huge benefit of roller furling, of course, is from the cockpit, just by pulling on a line, you can roll up the head sail in no time.
Paul, do you want to really briefly introduce yourself? Who are you? And
Sure. My name's Paul Rabowski. I'm the owner and operator of Ocean Rigging and Hydraulics and also Ocean Sailing Enterprises. And Ocean Rigging, we're here at the shop today. We do end user sales and service of yacht rigging. And Ocean Sailing is the North American importer and wholesale distributor for Baymar, which is an Italian company that manufactures sail furling systems.
So we are going to put the Baymar furlers together. Baymars, not to be confused with Balmar with an L or Bowmar. Bowmar mainly makes hatches, and Balmar is responsible for alternators. This is Baymar from Italy, and they've been in the industry for almost 50 years. So today we brought in our two forestays because we need the lengths, and we're basically going to reproduce them. We're gonna make a new wire for them. We're gonna add the foils that accept the sails in the future, and we are going to build the furlers.
So the first thing that we're going to do is put one of these mechanical staylock fittings together, and we'll start building the forestay.
For the new stays, we decided to use staylock fittings. Now, that's the hardware to attach the wire stay at the bottom and at the top. There you have two options. You can either use swaged fittings, so you use a press, can be hydraulic or whatever, and you press the metal, you squeeze it until it is held tight onto the wire. And the other option is mechanical fittings, like the staylock we opted for. The benefit of mechanical hardware is it can be taken apart, it can be inspected, you can change out the stay. As a sailor, if you go to far-flung places, just the repairability, you don't need to carry huge machinery with you to make those swages. Yeah, those are some of the big ones. And so here we're at the head of the stay, right?
Yeah, this is at the top end.
Yeah.
We already have a square cut on the wire. Show you how to do that on the next cut at the bottom.
Okay.
You take the fitting apart like this, and put the nose over the wire, quite simply, and then you want to unlay the wire. And I just use a curved jaw vice grip and just unlay the wire like that. And you want to make sure that none of the strands are crossed over. And you can see that there is one. There's two right there that are a little bit. So you bring that one around, and now you can see.
Oh, it just keeps on laying if you want.
That's a good way to check that they're not crossed over. And then you have to put the cone in place. Like that. And I like to leave about 1/8 of an inch, 2 to 3 millimeters sticking out. And usually I'll put it down a little more than that because typically as you lay these strands back around it, it'll push the cone back up a little bit. That might have been a little bit too extreme, but as you can see, that's set up pretty good like that. And again, you don't want to cross the strands as you're wrapping them back around, but again, you just wrap the strands back around like that and push this nose piece up onto it as you're wrapping the strands around.
And does this cone have a split in it or not?
It does have a split in it,
yeah.
And it's nice that you bring that up because as you can see, the strand has lodged itself in that split as I'm tightening it up.
Which it shouldn't.
Which it shouldn't because then the next strand could cross over it as well. So you want to just basically, I use a screwdriver like this and I'm pushing up on the nose and I'm just spreading these strands out kind of evenly around the wedge until those strands are nice and tight around the fitting. And then I'm also rotating this with the lay of the wire. And as you can see, that's set up. Once you get it formed up, put a screwdriver like that, right? And just give it a little tap. I just go like that. So now I feel like that's set up nicely.
That's just like to lock things a bit?
Yeah, just to lock things a little bit and hold the fitting together. The instructions back in the mid-'80s used to say put a silicone, marine grade silicone inside and lock the threads with red Loctite.
Yeah.
I still do it that way.
Okay.
Then you'll just tighten it up like this. And it should go together very easily. There shouldn't be any noise, clicking or scraping sounds, and there shouldn't be any resistance to the wrenches, really.
Yeah.
And then I like to open it back up again.
And that wasn't like full force.
Well, with these big long wrenches, I put a good amount of force on it. And what you should see when you open it up is that.
Oh, it's already bent.
So as you can see, it's the strands are spread around the fitting nicely. They're wrapped right around the top of the wedge, and they're bulleted perfectly around the wedge. You know, I would say most people are using them to 20 years.
Nice.
With great success.
Yeah.
But your wire, especially in a tropical climate, is going to only last you 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So you probably get 2 go rounds with your staylock
Exactly.
fittings.
Yeah. So they seem more expensive first right away.
Right.
But then you can use them twice.
Long
maybe
term,
Yeah.
they're definitely not more expensive.
Yeah. And that is because they're beefier, right?
And the fact
mostly.
that you can just take some wrenches and have a hacksaw and some simple tools and be able to make rigging, that's really the key
Totally,
thing.
yeah.
To be able to service your rigging and have terminals that you can just take apart and put back together again is really a benefit to the especially cruisers.
Oh, I can see why.
And we'll pull the rigging down the bench. All right, so let's go gather the tools we need to do this end.
So now the wire is a little extra long. So as you can see, Paul tensioned it. Now we're gonna set the components that are going on the bottom next to it and then determine where to make the cut so that then our wire is ready and its length.
So this is the most important part here when you're making a piece of rigging, the measurement. Like it's either right or it's wrong. So you've got to know what your pin to pin length is. And I've measured your old stay the same way we've got this one laid out. This is the toggle that we have to put in to make the furler link plates fit above that toggle. And so we'll lay that out, and your old forestay was 51 feet, 3.5 inches long, right? So we'll set this up at 51, 3.5, center of the pin.
Yeah.
Right? Just like that. So there's some various ways that you can put it together, right? So we're going with this right here.
Okay.
So you can see they want to have a turnbuckle in there, and then they want a toggle below the link plates.
Yeah. It just allows for 360-degree movement.
It allows the stay to articulate on 2 planes, side to side and fore and aft.
Yeah, that's the better explanation.
That's the technical. That'd be the technical version.
Articulated 2 planes.
Yeah, articulate on 2 planes, toggle top and bottom. That's very important for furling systems. And I like to use these staylock bar toggles because you can see that's a toggle that's going to be very, very resistant to any kind of torque load. And the stay is tight. So the measurement point is right where that flat ends.
Because this is now put together and tightened.
It doesn't matter.
That
doesn't matter, but where does the wire end up in the fitting when it's put together? Right there.
Roughly?
Yeah, roughly right on the edge of where that flat spot is.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. We're not going to cut that yet, though, because I'm going to go to the top. We're going to make sure that this is laid out nicely. It's on the marks. It's on the pin here. Measure twice.
Yeah.
Cut once.
Cut once.
51, 3.5. 51, 3.5. There's our mark. So we're 100% confident with that mark now.
Yeah.
So now we can mark the wire and we can cut it.
Beautiful.
Done deal. Okay, so now we'll build the furler.
Ooh, look at that. So we won't quite be putting the turnbuckle and the staylock on the bottom on yet because we have to do that
On site.
On site.
Yeah, a swage fitting with the threads on it would fit through the foil.
Okay.
But with mechanical fitting like this, it won't. So you've got to load all your foils on and then put the mechanical fitting on the bottom of the stay once that's done, which you'll be doing on site at the boat. So we're just going to mock up how this is going to lay up. We don't need to put the turnbuckle in there or anything. We've already made the stay to length. Now we're making the furler to length. And we'll move this up and get it sort of in place.
Okay.
Somewhere around that 51, 3.5, sort of like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be somewhere around here. Remove or back out these screws.
And is there, oh yeah, of course it's a specific one because it has the 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of match up where that one goes.
And there you don't have to line a code or anything. It's aluminum
We will.
on aluminum. Oh, okay, you do.
No, it's
there as
stainless
well?
in aluminum.
Ah, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah.
We're going to take care of that.
Yeah. Foils are aluminum extrusions that wrap around the stay. They go from the bottom where the drum of the furler is all the way to the top where you have the swivel. They have 1 or 2 grooves in them, and that accepts the sail when you hoist it. And it gives the stay a nicer, more aerodynamic profile when you're sailing, and it also makes for a better place to wrap the sail around. Instead of, like I said, a tiny stay, it's a little bigger, the sail rolls up a little nicer.
I just usually get like a straight edge and just sort of line up where that 51.5 is, come my way 1/2 inch.
51, 3.5.
51, 3.5. And now we will lay out the stay to the top. So we'll just let this now go like that. That distance is only going to change just like this much as it comes down. And now we'll lay the foils out. So we've got a bunch of foils laid here. We'll just lay these foils out end to end, all the way up. "65-foot long rigging bench."
Oh yeah.
That we can work at a nice height.
Totally.
Nice and comfortable.
So this one's the one that needs
This is the one
customizing.
This is the customizing one.
Yeah.
And you leave a little bit of room here in case you need to make that stay shorter. Right? I leave about an inch, 1.5 inches, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'll go get my marker and some tape.
So as you can see now with the foils, we were able to build up to this point, but then we need to make a little custom section now for this final length here.
Okay, so we're just gonna cut it right here. And of course we want to check this again. A little too close, maybe?
1/2 inch off.
So
It's
so
tiny.
close. Yeah, I'll just cut the foil like a tiny bit longer.
Okay.
I should have brought the vise.
I go get it.
Oh, okay, thanks. And the and that rag that's down there too, please. Thank you. Now I'm gonna clamp it in the piece that we're not using, but having this piece there, you never know. We might end up using this piece with this factory end
for the
on
other
the
one.
staysail, right? So I'll make sure we don't mar this up or do anything to
Totally.
hurt this. There you go. I'm all ready for you. Yeah, so you just want to clean it up, deburr it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep, just flush.
That's so satisfying with aluminum, how you can do the threads quickly.
It behaves a lot like wood,
Yeah.
so it, yeah. But you got to be careful. You don't want to break a tap off in there.
Totally. So right now we'll do exactly the same thing for our staysail. Lay out the wire, determine its length, put on a staylock fitting at the head, and then cut the bottom end and then come back to our foils and cut both custom top foils.
Is that everything? That's good right there.
Oh, that's the roller. Nice.
And the most important thing, the measurements. Okay?
Yep.
So the staysail is now ready to go as well.
Beautiful. What can you tell us about, I know two things many are curious about furlers are the ball bearings. What ball bearings do
these units use a recirculating ball bearing system, both in the halyard swivel and in the drum. And
do they require any maintenance? What material are they?
Freshwater rinse.
Yeah.
They're in the bottom. They're Delrin.
Okay.
And in the swivel, they're also Delrin. And in the bigger units, they would be Torlon when you get up into the bigger units that are really high load.
Okay.
The best maintenance for these systems is, as I told you, on this particular system, these 3 screws are important for getting the unit apart.
Yeah.
They should always have Tef gel in them, and periodically they should be cleaned, and Tef gel or Lanacoat should be reapplied. These 2 screws that hold the top of the link plates to the drum, sometimes you want to undo those. And undo these 3 screws, let the foils come down inside and rest on the staylock, pull the drum up out of the way to expose your turnbuckle completely for adjustments or what have you.
And inspection.
Inspection.
Just to make sure that it keeps being removable.
So again, those 4 screws you want to have product on as well, because you want those to come out down the road. And that's basically it. Aside from spraying it with fresh water every chance you get, you don't want to leave salty water on any rigging components of your boat.
So you'd say even these that are 13 years old, there's not like bearing replacement at one point, or?
No, nothing yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet. They're still spinning great, the drums and the halyard swivels. You can see the drums are very, very low friction. Very, very low friction, spins really nicely.
Beautiful.
And then the halyard swivels as well are, quite robust swivels. Yeah.
Cool.
Italy, another story. I'm moving there.
We might too one day, because
I think I'm going to retire there.
that's the only place we can afford to one day have a house.
Yeah, I know. Same.
So everything's packed up, things are in the car. I've learned a lot. I know how to put everything together, so thanks a lot for running us through the process and helping us out.
Anytime, my
Yeah,
pleasure, my
thank you very
absolute
much.
pleasure. It's always fun to work on rigging. It's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun.
You've been
And
doing it for
it's
a long
fun to
time.
teach people too, and certainly with what you guys are doing with your boat and where you're going, it's very important that you pick up all these things as well.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, my pleasure.
Huge thanks to Paul. It's always so fascinating to be in the workshop of a craftsman that focuses entirely on one part of sailing. And there's so much for me to learn every time. So it is very special to be there alongside. It's almost like, you're getting to see trade secrets. It's not just you go pick up a product or something, but being there and seeing it happen and help and be alongside the process really meant a lot, was fun, and it was a pleasure. Paul runs Ocean Rigging and Hydraulics, his rigging company in Steveston, Vancouver, Canada. And he also runs Ocean Sailing Enterprises, so he is the distributor for Staylock and Balmar. If you're in need of rigging, he definitely has been in the industry for a long time and knows what it's all about. So please check out the link in the description, and thanks again to Paul for lending his time and having us over here. Next steps for us are to install this hardware on our boat, but like with everything, it's gonna take a little while. For now, huge thanks to you for watching, commenting, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. You know the drill. Big thanks to our patrons that make this all possible, and an extra big thanks to the names now appearing on screen for going above and beyond to make sure that Sailing Magic Carpet can go out on field trips and document what we do and put this all up on YouTube. Thank you. See you next Friday.